Hello and welcome to a new edition of Interview with Irene. Today my wonderful guest is Lisa Ovies and her wonderful dog Gizmo. Hi Gizmo! I'm so glad we're finally doing this. So actually it's Friday the 13th, but it's lucky Friday the 13th.
Totally perfect day to talk.
Perfect. So I was wondering, could we start by, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure. It's a little bit complicated. Oh. He's bored already. Um, I've been making films sort of off and on my whole life as a hobby. And then I did full-time acting training in 2008. And then I found, because comedy is my background, I wasn't really getting the work that I wanted. People were saying that I didn't look comedy. I don't really know what that means. So in 2011, I started my own production company. And that sort of led to me starting directing, I think, in 2015.
Wow, that's so cool. And so your big project now which you're promoting is Puppet Killer.
Yes, I'm incredibly proud of it.
Nice. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Of course. So I'm obsessed with 1980s horror movies. That's always been something I'm very passionate about. And this film pays homage to 1980s horror films. It was a really scary thing to film because I think it's a very thin line between an intelligent comedic thrasher and a slapstick comedy. And I didn't want it to be making fun of horror, and I didn't want it to be making fun of itself. It's very self-aware, but it's still all about the practical effects. We have all of our kills on camera, but we really pay homage to about 6 or 7 of my favorite films, and that means a lot to me. So and I flip all the tropes. The only people that fall in the woods are the boys, and the dumb blonde is the boy, and I'm pretty proud of that.
Nice. So is it out yet or about to come out or?
Well, great timing. I know that we were trying to do this for a while and it was my crazy schedule, but now it's Friday the 13th. So tomorrow is our world premiere at Midwest Monster Fest. So that'll be our first festival. And then we are going to Seoul, Korea the next week. And then we're all over the States. We're in Wales and in London and South Africa. So we're having a pretty strong start to our festival circuit, which I'm really excited about.
Wonderful. Keep me posted when you get to Chicago.
Yes, I love Chicago. I trained at Chicago Second City actually, and oh my gosh, I want to screen in Chicago so bad. It is such a beautiful city. I hope we screen there in the summer.
Yes.
I'm not good at winter.
Yep, I would recommend it strongly. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, One other thing you've done is mentor young girls about filmmaking and directing. How did you get involved in mentoring?
Uh, Good question. I think I fell into it, but it's okay. Okay. If you want to be a part of this conversation, you're interrupted. I actually own an acting school. So I own a studio called Rogue Studios. I've owned it for almost 3 years now. I was running someone else's acting school for 4 years, and I just felt there was something missing as far as the education and the hands-on approach. And because I'm an active member in the film community and I produce and I direct and my friends are agents, and I just had an opportunity to bring more to the table than I felt I was currently able to bring. And I wanted to get involved with the families and really create the opportunity for more than just acting training, like mindfulness and mental health awareness. And acting is really scary and hard to do, especially as a young female, where you're being judged and you're putting yourself out there. So we started Rogue Studios 3 years ago. and I call them my baby sharks, and they call me Mama Shark. I've got about 25 of my beautiful sharks, and a lot of the community in Vancouver who supports you're too cute, who supports them, and it's been a life-changing experience. I actually love it more than probably even making film, which is hard for me to say. And when they book TV shows and movies, it makes my heart so happy because I know how hard they work, and they're all very humble and kind and grounded young women and men that I'm so proud of.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. I have great respect for anyone who takes the time to be a mentor to us. So.
Well, I have to tell you, thank you, obviously, and my instructors are amazing, but they give us more than I can put into words. They are so beautiful and hardworking and humble and kind. And when you're having a bad day and you get to go to class and get the love of these children, they are giving us more than we will ever give them. Like, they really are amazing. And yeah, I got to give them a lot of credit too. They're fantastic.
Fantastic. Um, so any interests outside of filmmaking work and mentoring?
Oh my gosh, I have so many
Mhm.
interests in so little time. I often get amazed at making independent film, how you can be working 7 days a week and not making money. It's amazing. But I snowboard. I've been snowboarding for over, how old am I now? Oh my gosh, I've been snowboarding for 25 years now.
Oh, wow.
I was a professional scuba diver for quite a while. So whenever I travel, I love to scuba dive. And I am a mother to two rescue dogs, and I really like just snuggling with them and watching Netflix. Can Queer Eye be a hobby? That's my hobby. We just watch.
Uh,
Okay,
that's adorable.
you're so cute. Okay, come on, come on.
I know, I could watch Gizmo all day.
I just rescued him from California 3 months ago, so he's new to Canada and new to my home, but he's pretty amazing. So
Yeah. Any advice for future filmmakers?
I think, I mean, it's a little bit hard because everyone has their own path. And so it's really hard to follow someone else's path because different doorways will open for you. But
Right.
the best advice I ever was given was by a gentleman named Aaron Houston. It was when I just started out in my production company, and I knew one day I would want to direct, and I didn't know when. And he said the best advice he could give a director specifically was to volunteer on as many sets as possible. And I think that applies if you're an actor or anyone. We're really lucky in Vancouver to make as much as we do. So we have unique opportunities, and I respect that we're really lucky. But he said, volunteer in every position so you can really honor and respect what the other people are doing for you. And I think that was the best piece of advice. It gave me the chance to network, to learn other departments, to meet a lot of people, but it also gave me a lot of humility when it came to directing, because the art department is there dressing before you are there. They are tearing down and setting up other sets after you leave, and the grips and everyone else. I got a scholarship for women in the director's chair to do art department for 2 weeks in Banff. We did 4 short films. We were banging up multiple sets a day. I was running up and down ladders and using power tools and doing all these things I'd never done. And I would almost be in tears at the end of the day because we were working so much. And I'm so glad, because I would have never known how hard those other departments were necessarily working. And now I just have a lot of gratitude for that as a director and producer. But yeah, I would say make film. If you want to make film, make film. When I was young, I'm 40 now, I'll date myself. We didn't have phones that make movies. So I would say if you want to create content, don't let people stop you. Don't let budget stop you. Get some really good books like Rebel Without a Crew, and I think From Reel to Reel is still a dated book, but very applicable. I would get some books, and I would get out there and make films with your friends and start creating content. I think that's exactly where I would start had I had this technology 20 years ago, which we did not.
That's amazing. And that's good advice for anyone out there. I agree. Wow. Anyway, but thank you so much for joining me, Fanny. It was
Thank you so
awesome.
much for inviting me. That means a lot.
Yes, and hopefully we'll have you again. Like maybe when you're in Chicago and see you.
I would love that. Oh my gosh, I really, really, really hope we play in Chicago. I love Chicago. Oh my gosh.
Oh. And thank you for joining me for another interview with Irene. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Alright.